The IPO kicks off today. Pune signing my colleague, caught up with Shilpa Kumar, the MD and CEO at ICICI Securities.
First of all, the issue is a 4,017 crore offer for sale by ICICI Bank.
Right.
And the other important thing I must share with you about our issue is that it's a 45% anchor book, which is larger than a normal anchor book of 30%.
Right.
This 17 crores of anchor money that we raised, you're absolutely right. It's a good mix across both domestic and FII investors.
Right.
And I think the long only investors, which are bulk of the book, I would say are again kind of diversified. We have sovereign wealth funds, pension funds, family offices, we have mutual funds. So in a sense, it's a good mix across all types of money.
All right, that's great. In fact, if I look at your revenue mix, a lot of your revenue, majority is in fact coming from your brokerage business and then from the distribution. While you are having around 10% on market share in the brokerage business, it is still susceptible to a lot of volatility in terms of capital markets. How are you planning to diversify the revenue mix between brokerage and distribution going ahead?
No, so you're right. Today, about 63% of our revenue comes from brokerage. 90% of that is retail.
Right.
So the first thing I want to tell you is, like in any retail business, growing retail business to this size, it's a 17-year-old franchise.
Right.
So this is a business which we started as ICICI Direct in 2000, and over 17 years we've acquired, this retail franchise, which constitutes 90% of what we do on brokerage. Okay. The other, important point I'd like to share with you is in the last 5 years, actually we have focused on diversification. And with this diversification, we've, added 7 percentage points of non-brokerage revenue in our revenue mix. Now, I just want to, address it slightly differently. So when you kind of, ask about the company and our plans, I think it's sometimes important to step back and say, what's the fundamental opportunity on the basis of which we plan our business model and revenues? And I'll say two very important things which are happening in the country are today the bedrock of our strategy. One is, of course, the fact that financial savings in India are seeing a very significant change.
Okay.
You're seeing, particularly with push from the government, physical savings are moving into the financial space. And in the financial space, if you look at household savings, only under 10% of household savings are in shares and debentures, which really means that, for a country like ours, where, social security is not fully available, it is indeed a significant opportunity at this time, especially as inflation and interest rates have structurally come down.
Right.
I think the other interesting aspect of what's happening in the country is that India is changing in a very digital way.
Okay.
And if you now put these things together, digital changes of a massive scale, financial savings changes of a very large scale, these are the fundamental opportunities available for any player in financial savings.
Okay.
ICICI Securities, with its platform ICICI Direct, is a leader in the brokerage business. We have 9% market share.
Right.
We have 3.9 million operational accounts, and we